So we're live on Facebook. We're live here on the Zoom. Welcome to this special edition of Defresh Live. Sell more cars during the holiday season. We're doing this special edition kind of as an impromptu experiment, if you will. And as you can see, I've got Aaron Crane here along with myself. Aaron is the CEO at Drive Motors. And we've done a couple of interviews over the past year and some blog posts around online shopping. We did a webinar as well recently around the myth of selling cars to millennials. And so Aaron and I arranged to come up here kind of last minute leading into the holiday season. You know, many of us know that the end of the month and the end of the year are good times to find deals when you're buying a car. That's when salespeople are trying hard to reach their goals and make their numbers for that period. But what about other times of the year like holidays? Do those same rules of thumb apply to used cars? Do Black Friday discounts extend to car dealerships? So as it turns out, according to an article in USA Today, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are two of the top 10 best times to buy a used car. And then as you're going to hear from Aaron, so is that period in between. So Aaron, great to see you again. Welcome back to Dealer Refresh. How's it going today?
It's going well, and always fun to chat with you, Ryan.
Yeah, and one thing I like about my experiences with you, Aaron, is you know how to just kind of dive right into something head first and come out standing too. So you're dialed in with us from San Francisco, correct?
Yes, sir. Sunny at the moment, San Francisco.
All right. So great town, great city. I love San Francisco. So why don't you fill us in, maybe speak to those shopping days and what dealers can really do to maximize their opportunity there.
Okay. Well, it's no surprise, but car sales drop on Christmas Eve, car sales drop on Christmas, car sales drop on New Year's Eve, and car sales drop on New Year's Day. Here's what's kind of interesting though. They don't go to zero because obviously dealers that work with us are using online checkout. So last Christmas was probably the first Christmas where dealers were still actually making deals while they were at home celebrating the holidays. So that's the first observation, is car dealers are actually selling cars during the most popular holidays for the first time ever using e-commerce. Mm-hmm. The other observation is that the time in between those two holidays, which is Christmas and New Year's, well, that's a great time to be selling cars. And our typical dealer sold over half of their entire December sales during that short period.
And I apologize, I'm going to bring something up here. So tell us why that period in between is such a good time. Is it because those sales they remain intact for that period?
Exactly. So obviously most buyers aren't going to buy Christmas Day. They're doing something Christmassy. But then there's 5 more days, I think, between Christmas and New Year's Eve. Those are days people typically have off, and those are great days for buying cars. And furthermore, those holiday sales are usually lasting through the end of the month. So that's why, although it obviously dips for Christmas Eve and Christmas, suddenly sales spike up to over 50% more per day for the days in between Christmas and New Year's, because of those, I guess let's call them residual holiday sales.
So is your suggestion, so the sales are obviously influencing, that's why our numbers are spiking. I think you have some numbers. What going back to last holiday season from 2016, what are some numbers you can share with us from last year?
Overall, the majority of dealers sold over half of their entire December sales during the time between Christmas and New Year's. Those sales on a day-by-day basis were about 50% higher by day than any other month during the same days. And some dealers were getting between 60 and 80% more sales per day those days than other days. So it was a very active season. And then, of course, the other interesting observation is that, well, Christmas was not zero and New Year's was not zero. So some people felt especially festive.
So are you actually seeing, in your case, you have dealers that are using your online checkout tool. So are you seeing people on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve? Are you seeing them actually, use the tool and put their orders together?
Absolutely. And obviously the showroom isn't open and they're not getting delivery or pickup on Christmas Day, but we had a few dealers that were actually reaching out to their customers as if it was a normal business day to simply congratulate and confirm, as we teach dealers. And those buyers were beelining for the dealership the minute it was open to drive those cars off the lot.
And I think from looking at the article, Christmas Eve itself ranks at number 6 as far as best times to buy a car, best times to buy a used car specifically. What is that percentage? What makes Christmas Eve? What caused it to get in there? You're looking at 28, almost 29% more deals than they have on average on that particular holiday.
Exactly. It's not a popular shopping occasion, Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. So dealers respond by adding extra incentives. Furthermore, they're approaching the end of the month, so they're also feeling the end of the month crunch. Furthermore, they're approaching the end of the year, so they're feeling the end of year crunch. So it's like a perfect storm of dealership motivation to drop the prices. And then Christmas Eve might be the first day of the price drop, so you're still going to have the maximum selection as well. That's why Christmas Eve is a great shopping day. And, well, I did not personally expect to see anyone ordering cars on Christmas Eve because that's not what I want to do Christmas Eve.
Right.
However, we were surprised that the volume only dropped 22% on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. So dealers only saw a 22% decrease in sale volume on Christmas Eve, which is great.
I could see Christmas Day personally. If I'm, you have breakfast with the family, you've opened up some gifts. Now you have a lot of downtime, right? Depending on the weather, you might be outside, playing football, but really you have nothing to do. You're not going to really go anywhere. You've got a lot of family, but I could see flipping around on my phone and browsing around for cars if I'm in market. And so I think what you're saying is by having the ability for customers to put together their orders and do the actual shopping on that particular day, you're going to be able to capitalize on that downtime.
Absolutely. And even if buyers don't pull the trigger Christmas Day, maybe feel like they're surrounded by things they just bought or received, you are absolutely right. They are shopping and browsing for the majority of that day because, well, like most days off from work, those are the popular shopping and browsing days. And so even if the buyer is not buying on Christmas Day, they are simply browsing, they're getting exposed to a dealership experience that tells them they can buy anytime they want. And then lo and behold, the order volume spikes the first non-holiday afterwards. Excuse me.
And I think something that we've covered in recent conversations is that people are going to come in and out of that shopping cart, 2 to 3 times on average to conduct the whole deal. So whether you're initiating that experience, over the holidays or continuing it on from picking up where they left off, you're at least giving them that option while your staff, is out enjoying their holidays and spending time with their family.
Yeah. Look, as I used to be in sales, I think I'll always be a sales guy at heart. I love the idea of getting a sales commission Christmas Day. That sounds like a great Christmas gift I never expected. But it's also an opportunity to pre-sell those customers. As you mentioned, many customers will kick the tires on checkout 2 to 3 times before they go through the whole process. So maybe they'll do it the first time Christmas Eve, the second time Christmas Day, and then the day after, that's when they complete their order. And lo and behold, most of the buying was actually done during the holidays.
Excellent. So just to recap that, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day are 2 of the top 10 best times to buy a used car throughout the year. Last year, online orders were highest on December 15th. They were up 67%. And December 28th, they were up 61%, followed by second highest on the 20th of December at 39%, and the 29th, which is really on the eve, almost on the eve of the new year. So excellent numbers. Aaron, thanks for taking the time to share that with us and for that great tip. Hey man, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy holidays to you and the Drive Motors team and your family as well.
Absolutely. And if you're a dealership listening to this, go market your Christmas specials before New Year's. And yeah, you'll experience that spike in sales.
Great, folks. Well, thanks for joining us. If you're live, we appreciate it. I didn't see any questions come through. If you're watching us on the recording, appreciate that. Feel free to share. And if you have any questions, we're going to post a discussion thread on the Dealer Refresh forums, specifically around this interview. So if you have any questions, Aaron and his team, and those of us here at Dealer Refresh can chime in as well. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this and wish you a great weekend. Thanks again, Aaron.
Thank you, Ryan. Until the next time.